I am Jazzy Carrington, and this is my show, What's Hot with Jazzy. I'm introducing you to some of the hottest, most innovative people around the nation, from pop culture entertainment to people making a difference in your community and mine. So let's get started with What's Hot with Jazzy. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to What's Hot with Jazzy. I'm back in full effect. Been gone for a minute, but I'm back again. And welcome to another special episode of Hot Talk, Hot Topics. And of course, you know I have to have a fabulous co-host. And I'm so excited because sitting here with me, not only is she just a fabulous, the hardest working woman that I know, entrepreneur, just all around amazing, my friend, co-host, Felicia Strait.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yes. Hey, boo.
Hi, boo.
I'm so glad you're here. This is my girl. I just love you. You're so amazing. You're so fabulous. I tell you that all the time. You look so pretty, too.
Thank you. So do you.
So, how was your Easter?
Super fantastic.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Went to church. Had an amazing service. And then just got home and watched some of the games.
Oh, yeah. We've got the NCAA games going. Yes. Oh, you know, my alma mater is NC State. They're playing tonight. So maybe by the time you guys see this, they would have won.
Yes. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. You know, I went to church too. And so, you know, I got my new little, I call him my munchkin burger, my new grandson.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
I'm a grandma, a grandma.
That's right.
I got my new little grandbaby, Joshua Caleb Jr. And he is just so precious. I love him so much. And I was at church, and my daughter-in-law, and then her mother was here from New York, and my son, it's their church. And so I went and kissed and loved up on my little munchkin burger.
He's so beautiful. He's so gorgeous.
I'm so in love with that baby. He is, I tell you, you know, being a grandmother is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like on another level of love. Right. Not that you don't love your children. Right. But it's like, he just makes everything in my life just better. He just makes it glow. Oh,
he's the cherry on top.
He is the cherry on top.
That's awesome.
I absolutely love him. And he loves his grandma.
Yes, he does.
He does.
He's such a dog.
And yeah, well, girl, you know, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
Girl, what should we tackle first?
Wherever you want to start.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and go with the hard one, because we know everybody is talking about it. Mm-hmm. Diddy. Yeah. And you know, it's so amazing because when all this stuff came out, and I've done another Hot Topic show before this, and I really didn't want to touch this too much because it's just a lot of twists and turns and just a lot going on. But I will tell you that, well, first of all, I'm going to tell you a story. You give me your thoughts of what we've seen so far. We all know. I don't have to rehash.
Right.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think that this is the end of P. Diddy?
I don't.
Really?
I don't.
So why do you say that?
Because I feel like some folks that may originally decide that they want to talk about this topic may decide later on whether they're persuaded one way or the other, either by him or by just their own not wanting to expose further other people. I think that some of the folks that may have originally spoken up may recant and or just decide to step away from this case.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I've been listening to some of the blogs, and I think on one of the blogs they were kind of leaning that some of the witnesses, I know this guy, Little Rod, I don't know who he is. I guess he was a producer or something with Diddy. And now I'm going to have to just be real. He kind of confusing me because some of his stuff just ain't gelling. It just ain't for me. But now my thing is, I do believe, now this report came out that allegedly Cassie has been working with the feds.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm inclined to believe that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I truly believe everything that she said happened to her.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it. And I remember years ago, I remember this was probably in 1990, early 90s, maybe like 93, 92.
Mm-hmm.
When did Diddy come out? I can't remember.
Right around 92, 93.
This around this time, this is when Biggie was still with us.
Yes.
Biggie was out. Total.
Yes.
Faith Evans,
yes.
Mary J. Blige. I mean, they were all like rocking it in the 90s.
Yes.
And I remember I had a friend. I was living in Atlanta at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this friend. And this was what was so odd. You know, that was when BET was big.
Yes.
So you had BET, showing all the videos, you know, because that's when we really got to see a lot of black artists like in real time.
That's true.
And I remember, they call themselves Junior Mafia.
Yes, I do.
And I remember when they were like the hotness across the board.
Yep.
#1 hits, Mace, everybody.
Lil' Kim.
And every time we would be watching BET, and she said, I don't like that dude. She said, it's a reason that he calls them Junior Mafia. She said, something's not right. She said, I believe he's not a good guy. I think he's a bad dude. And I think that there's something more than just the music.
Oh, wow.
And she did. I said, off of the name, she said, Junior Mafia. She said, what's the point? You're doing music. Think about what the Mafia represents. She said, something ain't right. And she said that.
Years and years ago.
Years ago.
Okay.
Almost 30 years ago, back in the early 90s. And every time she would say, and she would never get, every time anything about him, she would just be like, she will always be like, the people like,
Yep. Yes, the naysayers.
She was one of those.
Okay.
And I would be like, oh my God. And when all of this happened and came out, I thought about that. But, people are talking about this raid.
Yes.
One of Diddy's son's mother, she's all upset. Saying they were being too hostile. It was too much how they raided the property. And that the Christian, I think, had hired a lawyer to sue or whatever. And I'm just like, first of all, I hate to tell everybody this, they were doing their job.
Right.
Raids are not cookie cutter.
Right.
When the feds is after something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't claim to know the law like that, but my understanding, when they are after something, when they're going in like that, they ain't going in like, oh, hey, you mind if we come in? No.
No.
Because I'm pretty sure they have been in situations in history's past where somebody came out blazing when they came up in that door.
That's right.
So I don't agree with that. And I know he put them in handcuffs. But I didn't see, from what I was shown, I didn't see where they was hostile. It seemed like they put them in handcuffs and then they escorted them outside and set them down and just went to do what they needed to do. But here's my take on this. For Homeland Security and people to come in, and I know I'm hearing bloggers, I'm hearing people say, oh, they ain't got nothing on Diddy. I'm like,
okay.
I listen to Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace was a prosecutor.
Yes, she was.
And from what I understand, when Nancy Grace said, when Homeland Security and what they did came in like that in your properties, they know something.
Yeah, they've been tracking you for a while.
Because you have to get a judge's permission.
Yes.
They are not just doing that for a show.
Right.
There is something that they know that we don't know.
Yep.
I don't care. Everybody's like, everybody's like, trying to bring the black man down. I'm sick of that.
Well, it's the reason they have to have reasonable cause. They, like you said, in order to get that search warrant, they have to show reasonable cause, and they have to show proof that they have been tracing this and tracking this for some time, and show evidence as to why they want to do this. They can't just do. I mean, can you imagine the lawsuit that would come from that if that was done, non-willingly, without any type of actual proof or evidence as to why they're doing that? He could sue them for years.
And what's interesting, people, what y'all don't know is my colleague here beside me actually worked for our federal government.
I did.
She worked for
the Department of Defense.
Yes. Yep. So there are things that she knows we won't ask unless she wants to tell us. But, I just feel like there is something else to this. I don't think this is just about one thing.
Right. Yep.
And people are saying they're going off of Little Rod and the things he was saying, which he makes no sense to me. I'm not even going to get into that. I just ain't. I don't understand how you can say somebody was doing something to your backside. It takes a lot to get inside of somebody's backside. Like, you gonna know. Like, you gonna be like, wait a minute, hold on. You gonna know when somebody up in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I agree.
That's just me.
Right.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. That's just me. Okay, but I'm saying that, and I'm not saying Little Rod. Maybe some things are the truth, but maybe embellished a little bit.
Could be.
Maybe there's some truth. Because there's always some truth in there somewhere.
Right. That's true.
There's always some truth in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you can embellish or, but there's always a little bit of truth.
It's a sprinkle.
There's always a sprinkle in there. And so I just feel like that there is something else. That's just what I think. I think there is more to this. I think they are looking for something else. And I'm going to be honest, and maybe I'm over speaking. I don't think they've let go of Tupac. And I think they're going to be opening the case back up with Kim Porter.
Could be.
Because here's what's interesting. I don't know if you heard this. So I forget the man's name. I think his name was Ken or something. Did the original autopsy on Kim. He said she was poisoned.
Oh no.
Yes, in the original. I read this.
Oh
no. Okay, I read this. That he said this. He fought for the last 4 years, I believe, to get this reopened. They fired him.
Oh, wow.
And let him go. And they brought somebody else in to do the autopsy. And they said, whatever they came up with. And he fought and said, no, this is not how she passed. And he fought to get the case reopened. They finally agreed to reopen the case. And now they find him unalived.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of puzzle, twists, and turns. Yeah. This is just my opinion. I think Diddy has kind of a God complex. Like a God. I see that not with just him.
Okay.
But I do agree with what former FBI agent that was on Nancy Grace. And I hope I'm quoting it right. And he was saying that he felt as if that he's got so just this big in his head that he thought he could do anything.
Oh, okay. The ego.
Didn't even think about whether it was illegal or not illegal. He just was like, I'm just doing whatever I want to do.
Okay.
And sometimes, and he also said, I'm getting this from Nancy Grace. I hope she don't mind. I love you, Nancy. I do. I listen to you. That he was saying that there was a lot of, from my understanding, there was a lot of cameras around the house.
Okay.
And he always kept a lot of video recording, a lot of cameras. And he said that's what he thinks is going to be the nail in his coffin.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So, I don't really know a lot about what happens when you're dealing with, because there's so many accusations. There's so many different reports each and every day.
Right. Yep.
And so we got to see this one play out. They're trying to bring Jennifer Lopez's name into it for what happened in that club years ago with the lady getting shot. Shine went to prison.
Right. Yep.
He's out now. He's like a congressman in Belize.
Okay.
And so he's doing good for himself. He's moved on. And then Jennifer Lopez, like, first of all, Diddy was acquitted, and I just think it's ludicrous. Like, this
They're just bringing everything back.
Just bringing everything back. She has nothing to do.
They're bringing everything to the surface because this is actually happening in real time.
Yeah, it's like, move on.
Yep.
I don't think every single person who's ever been associated with Diddy had any type of nefarious or dark intent.
That's right.
Sometimes you just don't know who you dealing with, or who you're
guilty by association.
Guilty by association.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're right. Sometimes guilty by association.
Yep.
But this drains my brain.
We just gotta stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So, any more thoughts?
Not really.
Before we move on.
No, I'm just thinking that, like I said, I'm just gonna stay tuned and see what happens. See how all this plays out. Because, like you said, a lot of twists and turns. It's gonna change every day. Yeah, it's gonna change every day. I don't know what's true, what's not true. I do think he's not probably the most upstanding guy. but hey, I always look at this, regardless, to me in life, if you are doing things you should not be doing, I always look at it, if you don't even get punished in a court of law, there's another court. That's right. And that's God's court. That's right. Absolutely. And you can't escape that court. That's true. You can't escape that one. So that's just my opinion. I agree. Yeah. So anyway, the next thing. Okay, what you got? I thought this was fun. This is good. So I saw this video the other night on Instagram. Okay. I was looking through the reels, as I normally do. I like looking through the reels because I get good information, about places to go, yes. What's going on, recipes. Not just, videos, but you get recipes. Oh, yes. I love getting the recipes. There's some really good cooks on Instagram. They really are. I get some good recipes. So there was this girl, and she's on there, and she's like, she's like yelling. She's like, look. She's like, I'm so sick and tired of people saying, what do you bring to the table? She says, what do you mean? I bring love, you idiot. Effing love to the table. What are you talking about? Stop it. Like, what? I don't give a F about what you do or whatever. What do you bring to the table? Love. I mean, she's just like going off. Right. But I'm listening to her and I'm like, she's right. Right. You hear this now. I'm getting so sick of. You know what I cannot stand? What's what that? Makes me cringe, and you can tell me your thoughts on this. Okay. When I hear these men, well, what do you bring to the table? Bitch, what do you mean? Excuse me, Lord. I got a little carried away. What do you mean what I bring to the table? You the head. Right. You the lead. Right. What are you bringing to the table? Right. Right. What you think about it? That makes me cringe. I think that there's been a change in roles as it relates to relationships, right? So I think that as women have progressed and grown and advanced in education and socioeconomic status, now there is this idea that women have to bring that to the table rather than bringing the nurturing and the loving and the caring side of us to the table. And my thing is, at the end of the day, it's not about socioeconomic status at all when it comes to relationships. It's just like the young lady stated. It's about love. It's about character. It's about genuineness. Mm-hmm. It's about transparency. It's about loyalty and dedication. And those elements as it relates to relationships has kind of gotten lost. And everything now is more of like a business transaction. And not just, you are a good person. You are my person. We enjoy each other's company. I can depend on you. Those type of elements in relationships have gotten lost. Well, people give up too easy. That too.
People give up. People treat people like trash you can throw away.
And that's because I think a lot of people have gotten to this place to where they have a checklist, is what I call it. So they're like, okay, they have to have these criteria, almost like when you're applying for a job, the requirements for the job, and that's not how love should be calculated.
But even that list, and I think me and Corey talked about this on the last show.
Mm-hmm.
This list of where not to take your dates, like IHOP, Cheesecake.
Right. Yep, I've heard about that.
First of all, I like Cheesecake Factory. Second of all, I've been to IHOP on a date and I enjoyed myself.
I know that's right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
I don't care. Like, I don't care whether they got $1 million in the bank or vice versa.
That's right.
Hey, babe, you want to go to Waffle House? Yeah, let's go.
Right, that part, the pecan waffle.
And I had said that, but I agree because I feel like people literally nowadays, this is such a narcissistic, self-absorbed, selfish. I want to delve into this because this, you know what? I've been wanting to speak my mind for a minute, and I'm tired. I'm tired now. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of people treating every person like it's the same person.
Right.
I'm not the girl that from before.
Right.
I'm not your ex-wife.
Right.
I'm not the girl when you were 17 in high school that broke your heart. I'm not the girl in college. I'm not the girl from last week.
Right.
Okay? Let's make this very clear. Let's make this very clear.
Right.
Okay? I am Ardina Diantha Sutton, aka Jazzy Carrington. Okay? And I am my own person.
Right. Yes.
And just because you think every woman these days, I keep hearing, girls saying, you got to send me more than $30 for lunch. And I can't go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, but can you even take yourself?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
And my thing is, okay, these women talking like this, are you self-sufficient yourself?
That's a good question. That's the.
And let me tell you another thing. Okay, let me go ahead. Yeah, I'm
okay,
tired. I'm gonna go ahead.
Go in.
I ain't no independent woman. I ain't no boss chick. Okay. I pay these bills in this house because I ain't got a choice. I ain't got no husband. I ain't got nobody here to pay these bills. When something need to be fixed, I got to call the maintenance man. Because guess what? I can't fix it. Okay?
Okay.
When my car get dirty, it need washing, pollen out there all on my car. All on it.
And it's heavy, too.
And it's heavy. Got my sinuses acting up.
That part.
But I got to take it to the car wash. I got to sit up in my car and go to the car wash and let them little boys working at Auto Bell shine my tires.
I know that's right.
Okay? I ain't doing it because I want to, because you know what? If I had a man, I want him to take my car to go get washed.
Okay.
I want him to fill my tank for the week.
Okay.
I want him to say back, oh, such and such ain't working. You need me? What you need? You need to be over there banging with the hammer.
Okay.
Okay? I'm not doing this because I want to be so independent. I'm doing it because I ain't got a choice until the man that comes in my life can do that for me. And I would gladly let him do it because I have no problems with a responsible, stable-minded man. Now, let's not get it twisted. The Bible said a man who's stable in his mind is stable in his ways.
This is true. This is very true.
So he got to be a mature, stable-minded man.
That's right.
Because a mature, stable-minded man that knows his worth and understands what it is to be with his woman and take care of his woman, he going to take care of that. Because, see, taking care of me is more than just your finances.
Come on here.
Okay?
Come on here.
It's more than just your finances. You gotta take care of me from the rooty to the tooty.
I know that's right.
In every way. But guess what? What? It ain't all about me. Because you take care of me, you best believe I'm going to take care of you.
Ding, ding, ding. That's the part that gets lost, though. That's the part. The part is that in a relationship, you take care of each other. You spoil him, he spoils you. You support him, he supports you. You encourage him, he encourages you. And that's where the breakdown has come. A lot of people go into relationships, men and women, not just men, women too, go into relationships very selfish. And they go in selfish and they go in broken. So to your point about, not comparing and making everybody feel like they're a carbon copy, that comes from a place of brokenness to where they haven't healed from those relationships when they were 17, or an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend that broke their heart. So then they feel like every woman is the same. Every woman is not a carbon copy, and every man is not a carbon copy either. So we as women can't make that same distinction either and think that just because the last one hurt me, that this one will too. You got to give everybody a new notebook and a new pen and let them write their own story, period.
But, and that's so true. And the thing, what she said about bringing to the table is like, we first come together in love.
Right.
And that's not saying that there are not going to be challenges.
Right.
But you have to choose.
That's true.
To even love through that.
Right.
You have to choose to love that person that you're with.
That's true.
Why is everyone keep trying to take love out of the equation? God is love. God put together. We are innately created.
Yes.
To be in love. We are created to procreate. We are created to be in relationships.
That's true.
We are not created to be by ourselves. If we were, there would have been no Adam and Eve.
Very true.
We were literally, that was our purpose, was to fill the earth. How do you think all these people are on the earth now?
Right.
I couldn't have did it by myself. Eve couldn't have did it by herself.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is what was embedded in us.
Right. Right.
I don't care who you are, what you prefer. I don't care. It is in our human nature to want partnership.
That's true.
To want companionship.
Right. But see, the thing about it is, like I said, everything now is being looked upon as if it's a contract, as if it's like a job, and not looked at as something that's enjoyable and pleasant. And that's the part that gets lost in translation. I mean, think about the generations before us. Think about our parents' generation. Our parents oftentimes met in their, teens and 20s. And both of them were bringing to the table just themselves. They didn't have anything to bring to the table. So they, for lack of a better word, they started from the bottom, now they're here. So they basically had to build a life together. They had to go out and get jobs. They had to save their money. They bought their first homes. They had their children and had us and raised us. But so many people come to the table now because generations have changed. Things have changed in terms of, even for us as women, in terms of the types of jobs that we have. Back when my mom was, growing up and a young woman, women were really just breaking those glass ceilings and coming into the workforce. And many jobs were administrative assistants, which is a fantastic profession, but women now have elevated to where we're CEOs, CFOs, COOs. We own our own businesses. Yeah. We have, managerial positions within Fortune 500 companies and things of that nature. So now that has happened, the tide has shifted, and now everybody's looking at everything for what do you bring to the table.
But here's what's interesting, though. There was a new study that divorce dropped.
Yep.
Considerably. But they're saying, one of the things they said is because people are no longer marrying for, like, you give me butterflies, right? Like, ooh, woo, woo, right? People are marrying their best friend. Yep. They're marrying people that they feel that are willing to stay in the fight.
Right. And I think that people too are also starting to get married a little older. So I think that, like I said, the generation before us, they got married oftentimes right out of high school or right out of college. And now a lot of folks take their time. They, build their careers, get their certification and degrees and things of that nature before they get married. So it's almost like they get certain things out of the way first.
My son and daughter-in-law didn't do that. They were 22 years old.
Okay, right. Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because women only get so many eggs. Okay. And women only got so much time before menopause. So you can have some babies. And men want babies.
Most do.
So you need to, just my personal opinion, I think women should marry young. I think if a man and woman are mature enough in their early 20s, and there are men who could be stable. My son had a good job. They bought a house, everything. At 22 years old, got married, and she got a college degree. And they went ahead and made that official.
Yep.
And I think that you should do that.
And I'm not saying that people don't still do that, because like you said, they're a perfect example that it still exists.
But here's the thing. It's not just them. They have their friends. They're all married. Excellent. Same ages.
Awesome.
But here's where I think the difference is.
Okay.
They're all in ministry. They all put God first. They're all believers.
Okay. All right. That's definitely a driving factor in that.
And they all seem very fulfilled in life. They don't act like they're missing anything.
Okay.
And they seem like they genuinely enjoy being married.
Okay. And that's awesome. But like I said, fortunately, they have that.
You dynamic. Like, that's all good.
No. I'm just saying they are kind of like, an anomaly these days. Yeah. Because most young folks, young adults, I'll say young adults, their age don't have that. They don't have that network. They don't have that circle. So a lot of them kind of veer to the other direction, to where they're like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to travel. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, get, like I said, build my career, get my certifications.
Yeah, but when you are 30, mid 30s, is pushing it, because a woman can go in full menopause at 30 years old.
Right. But then a lot of women now have changed their mindset in terms of childbearing, in that a lot of women don't want kids like they did when our parents were our age.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you this. That's cute.
Okay.
But if you want a husband, you better start wanting some kids, because I don't know a man on this earth that ain't never wanted no babies. Men want babies. Now, young girls, y'all can think y'all cute and all. You're doing your little OnlyFans. You got your little careers. You're going here, there. You just living your best life. Okay? I'm going to get married at 40. Honey.
You say no.
No.
You said that's a hard no.
Perimenopause starts between the ages of 45 and up, and some are starting earlier.
That's true.
Which means your eggs is becoming no good.
Not the eggs.
And you only got so many left when you want to run down to the clinic and do your little IVF. You only got so many left. So if it is in your plan to get married, and I'm going to tell you another thing. 2 is better than 1. When you are with your person, God blesses marriages.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not going to miss. You can build an empire with your significant other, with your husband, with your wife. And I'm telling you, with these young girls, my son, when he married my daughter-in-law, I said, well, I wasn't ready to be a grandmother yet, because I thought I was like, I'm ready to be. I know y'all cute, y'all in love and everything, but I'm going to need y'all. And he was like, this when we having a kid, they're 26 years old with their first. He said, okay, in 2 years, we having another. Now, I don't know how my daughter-in-law feel about it.
Right, exactly. We got to ask her about that.
She was like, oh, she going to do it. She going to do it. But my son is crazy about my little munchkin. And he has planned it out. We having babies. And if he could have 10 kids, he would. Right. Of course, Bree ain't going to do that.
I was going to say, I don't know. We got to check with her first.
She's not doing it.
See how she feels about that.
But if he could, get her to do it. But what I'm saying is, when these young men, not talking about you middle-aged men, y'all need to quit. Y'all should have already had your babies and go about your business.
I told you, they've been building careers now.
Y'all need to go about your business.
Late bloomers.
Well, go about your business. You should have had at least 1 or 2.
They said they were building their careers.
But I'm talking about the young men. These young men want some babies. They expect when they marry these women just think it's about, oh, we're love, so in love. And that is beautiful because it does start. That is the foundation.
That's the foundation.
But once you get in there, he ready to have some babies.
Yep. Okay. And
you can't be telling your husband, well, I was thinking let me get my career popping first and out the way.
Well, it depends on the type of man that you marry. He may be cool with that because he may be doing the same thing. And they may agree that we're going to start at 30. You know, if they get married right out of college, you never know. It just depends on the two people.
I'm going to give you an example. I don't want to be messy. Demi Moore married Ashton Kutcher when he was like 21
He
or
was
something?
Young. He was in his early 20s. Mm-hmm. Early 20s.
Of course, she was at the perimenopause age. At that time, she had her children. You know, she had been married to Bruce Willis. They had beautiful girls. And, you know, and I'm a big fan of Demi Moore. But there came a time when Ashton was still young and he grew up. Mm-hmm. He wasn't a middle-aged man yet.
Right.
And what did he do?
He married somebody younger.
He went and married somebody younger, and what they got?
Babies.
There you go. There you go. I rest.
Put a period right there.
Purr.
Period.
Purr. That's what my little niece say to me. Purr. There you go. And that's no shade.
Right.
But that's real life.
Right.
That's real life. And, you know, and not saying that, I mean, we have men with older women that, you know, they've been there, done that are a little bit, you know, they're still, might be still younger, but they've already had those experiences.
Exactly.
So they're not looking for that.
Right.
But I'm saying people first starting out, young people that are first starting out. Mm-hmm. And I think when you talk about all this stuff, like she said, what you bring to the table, it starts with that foundation of love. And then you guys build from that.
Right.
And then there's a feast at the table.
Right.
Because y'all have built from that something together, and you guys have chosen
each other
and chosen to go in thick as thieves.
That's true.
Because you got to be tight.
Right.
You got to be tight. You got to be tight. That's what I call it. I'm country. You got to be tight. You got to be tight. You know what I'm saying?
But both people have to be at the same place at the same time. And that sometimes is a problem as well. That's an impediment as well. Timing is everything. Because some folks, you meet them and they're the greatest person ever. You meet them at the right, you meet the right person at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're running at 35 miles an hour in the school zone and you're at 55 on the highway, you know, or vice versa. Yeah. So if the two of you are not in the same headspace and at the same time and wanting the same things, then it's not going to work either, because you're unequally yoked. And unequally yoked doesn't always just mean spiritually. It can also mean emotionally, mentally, financially, you know, everything. So I feel like timing is everything, because you can meet, like I said, you can meet some of the most amazing people on the planet, and it's just bad timing. It really is.
Well, you know, I can attest to that. Been there, done that. Mm-hmm. And that's a difficult place, because when you have become very emotionally invested into someone, and there are things that happen, life happens.
It does.
Life happens.
You're right.
And sometimes things can happen unexpectedly, and it might start out great, and you both feel like you're going in that same direction, and then just it crashes. And you're like, what just happened?
That's true. That's true.
What is this?
Yes.
Girl, I know. I can tell y'all some stories.
You have to write in a tell-all book. You have to write us a book.
Oh, Lord, child, I don't even want to go back.
Right, you don't
traumatized.
You don't want to relive any of it, right? I know that's right.
I'm traumatized.
I know.
But speaking of timing, did you hear this thing about Kamora Lee Simmons' young daughter? I think she in her like early 20s, kissing on a 65-year-old man.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh my. Got her a sugar daddy.
For real, for real.
Oh my.
She's a sugar baby.
I see that.
And everybody's like, you know, she kissing on the 65-year-old man. And I'm like, something ain't right with it.
So something's not connected there.
Something ain't connected with it. You know,
dots.
I ain't trying to say, but I'm just saying.
Maybe she's just looking for some stability. You know, age, money equals stable.
You know, Russell ain't got it like that no more.
Well, she's an adult, so he doesn't have to support her anymore. So now she's at a point where she's all grown up.
Yeah, but then her mama married the con artist and gave him, from my understanding, allegedly like half of like a lot of money.
Ooh, oh no. Oh no.
So do you think it's one of them things she's like, well, I got to keep up the lifestyle?
Yes, as I said, stability, financial stability.
No, okay. Now let me ask you this. Now we're talking about seeing her kissing on a 65-year-old man, but everybody's up in arm from Drea, from Basketball Wives, being pregnant by the little 22-year-old NBA player.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, oh, how could she do that? She's disgusting. She ought to be ashamed. Yes. What do you think?
It's the same thing. It's always different. It's that double standard. It's the double standard.
It's always.
At the beginning of time. We as women always get condemned for doing stuff like that. But men are just like, oh man, you the man. You the man. You got that young tenderoni. And it's just like, but if we do it, it's like, ew, you're such an old cool. Like, why is it that way?
Well, see, but here's the thing I find. Just because I do this. Okay, so like I'm a woman of a particular age, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have men my age and older approaching me.
Okay.
And trying to
pursue me.
Mm-hmm. I realize I look young for my age.
You do.
And I think when you have women who look very young, they're still very attractive, they're still beautiful at an older age, we tend to attract younger men.
That's very true.
That tends to be, just for me, I feel like in these latter years, I've had more younger men approach me than
men your age or older.
Men my age or older.
I can see that.
And let me tell y'all something. Let me be very clear. Some of these guys, and they're younger, but some of them are very successful.
Oh, absolutely.
They're very stable financially.
Absolutely.
They're doing well for themselves. They've got great careers. We ain't talking about just some little knucklehead. I'm talking about young men that got it going on.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
And they like, what's up?
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't expect this. Let me think this through. Let me process. I didn't expect all this. Right. This is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, let me tell you, I was very insecure.
Really?
I was. Because I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I am older, I'm like, I got joint pain.
It was like, what are we going to have in common? What are we going to talk about?
I'm like, I got joint pain. You know what I'm saying? Some days are better than others.
Right.
I got insomnia. You know what I'm saying? Right. Sometimes I'm like, just get off. Give me a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, when you of a particular age, like I had the flu not too long ago, and girl, I was looking rough. And I was like, I don't want nobody to see this.
But my thing is, all of us look rough when we have the flu,
but
regardless of our age.
Wait. And then some of us, let's just keep it real, ladies. We know. Hair loss.
Oh no.
Like the hair ain't flowing and beautiful. Like when you're young, it was like you was swinging it like, yeah, girl. Like, you just like, yeah.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, I need a little help on that. I need that right there. Feel that in right there.
Right.
Let me put a little clip in right there.
Can work their magic on you, I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like things ain't the same.
I understand.
So when I have a little young buck, I'm like, and now I got a grandbaby.
But the thing about it is, I think that a lot of younger men, when they see older women, they look at, a woman that's got her head on straight, a woman that knows what she wants, a woman that's comfortable in the skin that she's in. And sometimes they can't find that within their age group. So they feel like they have to step out of that and approach a woman that's older to get the level of maturity that they're looking for.
Okay, I understand that.
I'm just saying.
And I agree with that. I do agree with that. I agree with that. But I feel like for me, even though it's happened to me quite a bit, and that's a good, it's flattering, But I also feel like though, there are changes, hormonal changes. You're dealing with perimenopause, menopause, which I'm still going to do that show. We got to talk about that.
Right.
But there's a lot of health things, a lot of things that go along with it. Look, let me tell you something. I got a good girlfriend of mine, and let me tell you what she said. And she's older than me. And we were talking about having this topic, and she was saying, I was like, we were talking about younger men and older women and being approached by this. And she was like, look, let me tell you something. She was like, I ain't effing with y'all young men. I need a man beside me that know the signs of a stroke. She said, you can't tell me the signs of a stroke at 42. You can't do it. I'm going to need him to be about a good, 59.
Oh,
I laughed. I said, well, she might got.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't want you to have a stroke.
But you'd be surprised how many younger guys, especially the ones that are, that really have their mess together, they're very mature. They're very mature. And they do understand what comes with dating an older woman. So they understand the hot flashes. They understand, some of the other things.
Since when?
You'd be surprised.
Girl, nah. I went out with a guy years ago. Let me tell you something. He was only about 2 years younger than me.
Oh.
He was my full-fledged boyfriend, okay?
Okay.
And I looked at that Negro and said, I'm having a hot flash. And he said, what's that? I said, oh, no.
Oh, no.
He said, what's that? Oh, I had to explain to him.
Oh, no.
Okay? No. And he was only 2 years younger. That's a problem.
But that may not be all of them.
No, it's not all of them. And don't get it twisted now. I like a little tenderoni. But
that part.
Don't get it twisted.
I know that
I ain't saying, I like it. But I'm just saying, realistically, with the things that we go through, with the age differences, right. Just like Drea having a baby with this young man. But she may not be, our patience is shorter at a certain age. When she starts going through those mood stages, you're talking postpartum on top of she's hitting that age slowly of being perimenopausal. Mm-hmm. And they affect us mentally. They affect our mood swings. Mm-hmm. And it's not saying she's not going to be a great mom. I'm just saying just seem like it's going to be a struggle, more difficult at this stage in her life. And then he's very young. He's only 22. I don't see that being a long term. Most people are saying she just did it to get the bag because he's in the NBA. Mm-hmm. So she went after him and now she's secured a bag, having a baby. But he's still young. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going to happen. Right. Players get hurt all the time.
That's true. That's very true.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm wishing that on him, but I'm just saying we don't know what's going to happen. So to say, and then some people are saying, well, it's different because she's taking advantage of him and she just wants the money. But when it's reversed
Right.
with an older man and young women. That's expected.
Right.
The woman is getting the benefit of that.
Right.
And I'm trying to still figure out, well, what's the difference?
There is no difference, but that's just the way it's always been. It's like I said, it's a double standard. It's a double standard. It's been there since the beginning of time. And I don't think it's ever going to change.
It's never going to change.
It's been like that since the Bible days.
Because
it's a double standard.
It's always a double standard. And you know, I always feel like though older men are a bit controlling.
Okay.
And I remember when I was, one of my other stories, I got a lot of good stories. I remember when I was 28 years old, I dated a man in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say who. That was like 20 years older than me.
Wow. Okay. That's a big
The
age
way
gap.
you said, wow.
Wow, that's a big age gap.
He was 20 years older than me.
Okay.
I was 28 years old. And when I tell you, he taught me so much, though.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me a lot about the music business.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me a lot about, and at this time I was still singing and performing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And
he taught me a lot about really being a woman.
Okay.
And what men like and expected.
Okay.
And I think in his heart of hearts, he knew that it was going nowhere.
Okay.
You know, eventually he knew. I think he knew. So eventually when I finally was like, okay, you know, I parted from that, he let me go gracefully.
Okay.
Because I think he knew that, you know, okay, eventually she's going to want to go her own way. Mm-hmm. And so, and at that time, you know, I had my kids. I had gotten divorced, or going through a divorce. Mm-hmm. I was young, a little dumb too at that time. I was a little stupid. I was. And, you know, I was going through a very volatile divorce. Mm-hmm. And at the time, and so, you know, and I was pushing, trying to chase my music career with 3 children, babies, you know, I had babies, you know, and, you know, of course, my ex-husband wasn't supportive of that. Right. You know, he just wanted me to be home with the kids or whatever. But I didn't mind being married. I wanted, but I still wanted to do stuff. But, but it wasn't just that, you know, you know, it just wasn't that. It just wasn't the best marriage, you know. And, you know, and we both had some growing to do. Absolutely. You know, not blaming, putting the blame all on him. Right. It was just, absolutely. You know. And so at this time, you know, this is someone who's supporting me. I'm doing my music. He's in the music business. Right. It's made it so much more exciting. Yep. You know, and it was just like, oh, this is, you know, great. But I did get to see some stuff, you know, behind the music that I didn't particularly care for. That I didn't particularly care for. Right. And so it's just like, but he let me go gracefully and everything. But I don't want no old man.
How was he controlling though?
It was some things he would say to me that was sort of mentally abusive.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it was things he would say, and he was jealous over everything, everybody.
Oh no.
Just things really, he was just very controlling, very jealous. You know, if somebody looked at me, you know, obviously something was going on. Okay. And because he was in the business, he would assume that I was, then it was like, you knew me, who I was, but then it turned into, oh, you only want God, you know, you're just trying to go after guys in the business to advance your career.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And do you know this crazy fool? Years later, I seen him years later.
Okay.
It was a good friend of mine. She had a Christmas party.
Okay.
And at the time, she was dating someone in the business that he was actually very good friends with.
Okay.
And her friend that she was going with at the time was at the party. And they kind of had it together. And they invited me to the party because she and I were great friends.
Okay.
And at that time, I came to the party and I was dating someone. And you know what? He was older too.
Okay.
But he wasn't like that old like that.
Okay.
You know, it was maybe like 8 years older.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was crazy too. He had to go.
Oh no.
Nuts. I said, I don't want no more old men. So he came with me to the party. And I'm sitting there with my friend. And she and I were taking pictures. Everybody's having a good time. He comes to the party. And I have not seen this joker in years. And he tells her guy she's going with at the time, he's like, oh, who's that guy that she's with? He must be. Now, mind you, I haven't seen this man in years.
Right.
Life has gone on. I mean, I'm talking like a good 15 years
Oh,
or so.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, that guy she's with. What is he, in the record business or something?
Wow. Here we go.
You know, she's only with him because she's trying to get a record deal.
Oh, wow.
Bitch, I'm 45. I am not interested.
In a record deal.
At that time, I think I was like 40.
Okay.
I was like, a record deal is the last thing on my mind
Right,
at 40
that point.
years old.
Right.
I'm like, you ain't seen me since I was in my, the last time you saw me, I think I might have been 30.
Okay. Okay. So
And you still thinking I'm dating men to try to get a record deal?
Oh my goodness. Some things never change. I'm telling you.
And I'm like, people's mindset.
Some people never
And
change.
I just thought that was just absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And so, so that's why I was like, yeah, that wasn't gonna, but yeah, I don't want them all men.
You said you'll pass on that one.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Okay.
I'll take the younger one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Duly noted. Period.
Well, Felicia, oh my God, this has been great.
This has been awesome.
So I know that you, when you were on the show before, we had talked about you doing events, and you're changing venues.
Yes.
And you're in the process of looking at venues now. So how's that going?
So far, it's been a little slow.
Yeah.
In terms of I find another venue for those that don't know, I am an entrepreneur and I own my own event space, and I am looking to expand here in the Raleigh-Durham area, and I am looking for a new venue. Yeah. So if you know of any, let me know. But it's been a little slow in terms of finding rental properties. It's like when I find them, they're either astronomically priced or they fly off the market. So they fly off. Commercial real estate is bananas. It's crazy, and it's actually worse than residential at the moment. And one of the things that I find too, and one of the things that I found out recently, is that I am getting beat out by churches. Are you serious? Yes, and praise be to God for all of the churches that are coming online. But it's just as soon as one comes on the market, y'all got an annex at the church. a lot of churches, especially churches that are just starting out, bless their hearts, they can't afford their own building. So they have to start out in storefronts until they can build a congregation and they can save the money that they need in order to buy or build. So they have been they've been snatching these commercial real estate spaces up like hotcakes. But I'm confident that. Well, you know what, girl, you make it happen. Oh yeah, it's coming. So I'm not. Well, I will tell you. You and you're gonna be doing my. Okay, y'all, I'm a crazy grandma. My munchkin ain't gonna be 1 year old till December 14th. He's only 3 months now, but we're gonna start planning his party. She's doing he's gonna have the 1 year old party of all parties. That's right. So you're gonna be doing that. Yes. And guys, y'all better look for us next year. Yes. Cause I got some real big coming. Yes. I'm gonna be doing a women's conference. Yes.
it's going to be off the chain.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the information on that.
Yes.
So come from anywhere, wherever you want to come from. I don't care if it's from England.
That's right.
Come on. We'll embrace you with open arms.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
So you and I, we're going to be putting that together.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah, that's going to be hot.
Yes.
And so, and some other friends come along. I have another friend who's actually, well, she's going to be more because we want to do something with the fashion and doing something. And I have a friend who actually used to work for Essence Magazine and who was a stylist at one point. So she's going to be coming on with, you know, helping out with some things with the conference, some special things we're planning. So it's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
But guys, thank you for hanging with us. I have enjoyed this.
So awesome.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for coming and sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
And guys, I promise there's gonna be more shows. I know I've been lacking. I've been so unfocused, but I'm back.
I know that's right.
And so you're gonna be seeing so much of me. Y'all gonna get sick of me. Y'all be like, Jazz got a video out every week.
That's right.
Every other day.
That's right.
Yeah, it's coming.
That's right.
And also, to tell you guys, I know I did like one video. I don't know if you saw it, but Jazzy's Take. So I am going to be doing more of those. And I didn't know where I wanted to go with it, but I figured it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to love it. So it's going to be my take continually on just things going on around, just opinions about life in general and things going on in the headlines still and things just going on around the world. Just my take and just sitting down and talking with you guys.
Awesome.
And but from all across the globe. You don't know where I'll be.
That's right.
But I'm going to tell you. So it's going to be a lot of different places. It's going to be fun. And you never know who you might see on Jazzy's Take.
This is true.
Never know.
Never know.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic episode of What's Hot with Jazzy. Thank you, Miss Felicia Strand.
Thank you for having me.
For coming on.
Awesome.
So wonderful. Thank you again. And until next time, I'm Jazzy Carrington, and I'm out.